You see what sending out them negative waves did, Moriarty?
But oddball, I did try and tell them, but they won't listen. I tried.
Sure.
But I did try.
Oh, man. Don't hit me with them negative waves so early in the morning.
But I can't force them to listen. I can't.
Always with the negative waves, Moriarty. Always with the negative waves.
Have a little faith, baby. Have a little faith.
But I keep trying. Oddball, I keep trying. But they won't listen. They won't tune in. They really won't.
Why don't you knock it off with them negative waves? Why don't you dig how beautiful it is out here? Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change?
Tune in to Awake Radio for your positive waves.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Paula Mavis Show on awakeradio.co.uk. Thank you.
You're listening to awakeradio.us, awakeradio.co.uk, and shazizradio.com. Hi, I'm Paula, and this is Paula Live. Good afternoon, coming to you on the sunny west coast of Central Florida. It is a little after 2, October 24th, 2014, and I'm Paula. You're listening to Paula Live on Awake Radio. I have another show which is called Grassroots Music. It's on Eastern Standard, 8 to 10, like 1 to 3 a.m. UK time. It's pretty late for you guys, but I have Tatiana Moroz, singer, songwriter, activist, and she also does some work with Bitcoin. She'll be traveling with them to Australia, but she is going to visit with us, share some of her new songs and her new music with us, as well as some of the ones that we already love of hers. So I'd like to start off by playing a song or two of hers and go on from there. And also a big thank you to Awake Radio TV for Cheryl, Alan, Dave, Roger, all you guys did a great job. Neil Foster, of course, one of my personal favorites. You guys are a really hard act to follow. I know everybody's probably getting up now from TV, having a stretch. So enjoy a little Tatiana Moroz. Take a comfort break.
Sometimes it ain't easy to be free. Too many people trying to get a hold of me. They tell me what to think and what to do, that I've got to move on and get over you. This is about a country and love. We don't know what will rain down from above, 'cause it could be the end of the world. So I must choose to be a woman and not a girl. Wanna be the one who's strong. Sometimes I need a man to tell me what's right and what's wrong. I can admit I have flaws. Get so mad I rip right through the walls. This is about a country and love. Don't know what will rain down from above, 'cause it could be the end of the world. So I must choose to be a woman and not a girl. I need you to be a man and not a boy, 'cause I'm playing for keeps and my heart is not a toy. Will you stand up and defend the house and home, or pretend you didn't notice and leave me all alone? This is about a country and a love. You don't know what will rain down from above, 'cause it could be the end of the world. I must choose to be a woman and not a girl. I wish that you could give me what I need, but you can't. And your words I don't believe. I'm asking for the best of myself, so I'll leave my lonely heart on the shelf. This is about a country and a love. Don't know what will rain down from above, 'cause it could be the end of the world. And I must choose to be a woman.
Tatiana Moroz with A Country and a Love. She has an amazing voice. She does a lot of work with the Truth Movement. Again, she's also working with Bitcoin. She's also has her own Tatiana coin. She was in South America the last time I talked to her. We did a Christmas show. Actually, she sent me some holiday music, and for one beautiful show, our Skype did great. And again, she's going into Australia too soon, and so I was hoping Zeitz would pick her up. She's also sent over some videos I would love to send over to Community Pulse Community Press Group, so they can check it out and maybe give her some TV time. She does have a face for the camera. The camera just loves her, and so does the audience. And like I said, we've met at different functions and organizations. I was really privileged to get to hear her and see her perform live, but also press gets to hang out in the green rooms of these places, so people bring their children. They're kind of running around. Artists are just strumming on the guitar. There's pizza, there's lobster, there's bottled water, there's all kind of stuff going on in the back. And just to get to hang around with some of these people and listen to them talk about what's going on in their area, it's just a whole other side of the movement. And this next song that I'm playing of hers, it'll be the last song tonight, unless I can pull something out before the end of the show. This was about, a lot of people started coming together, around, especially that last election time. Truthers, different awakening organizations, a lot of people started coming out of the woodwork. A big wave hit, and a lot of people were getting together and putting these events together, and it's very expensive to do. It's very time consuming. It takes tons of people to get this, and everyone working together or trying to work together. And there's a lot of people that believe one way, and some are further along in the truth movement. They know a little more than others, so it's hard when you're mixing people at different stages of the truth together. And one thing is to try to talk and and stay together and not chew each other's head off, even if you do disagree here and there on certain things and certain points, and work and get the event on anyway. And it was a situation like that when she wrote this next song, and it's called Same Side, and she actually has an entertainment group she's named after the song, Same Side Entertainment, and this is Tatiana Moroz.
I woke up this morning and I turned on the radio. I heard the same old song, so I went outside. People fighting, people living, people dying, and it's oh so much to think about. It's oh so much to worry about, it makes me cry. Need a better perspective, need some time to reflect it, to remember how similar we all are. We all want the same things, a chance to follow our dreams, to raise a family of love and liberty. So don't forget but we have good intent, and even though we make mistakes, we stand unified. So hold on tight, it's a hell of a fight, keep you up in the night, but we have to remember we're all on the same side. We're all on the same side. Same side. Now it's late in the evening and I can't seem to turn off the news, telling me that we're gonna lose, but we've already won. We've got a message and a voice and a song. Now if only we could all just get along, put away the past and pride and leave the worries behind. Need a bit of perspective, need some time to reflect it, to remember how similar we all are. We all want the same things, a chance to follow our dreams. We are a family of love and liberty. So don't forget but we have good intent, and even though we make mistakes, we stand unified. So hold on tight, it's a hell of a fight, keep you up in the night, but we have to remember we're all on the same side. We're all on the same side. Same side. So don't forget the time we spent. We're not perfect, but we have good intent, and even though we make mistakes, we stand unified. So hold on tight, it's a hell of a fight, keeps you up in the night, but we have to remember we're all on the same side. Same side. We're all on the same side.
Awake Radio founder Allegedly Dave is allegedly in the chat room now. Dave, you should come on and talk about your book. There is a link in the chat line, and there's a sample at www.allegedlydave.com/downloads /human body manual sample .pdf. The link is in the chat room, and not only is he one of Awake Radio founders, but he's a good friend to all the hosts here and most of the chat line. But Dave, why don't I put on a song and I'll call you and let's talk about your book and the link.
You're listening to Awake Radio. Straight talk for the awake and aware.
Hello, you're listening to Paula Live, and I have Awake Radio founder and colleague Dave Murphy with us, or allegedly Dave. You can't tell, you can't see him. Tell us what's going on, Dave. You're sharing a link with us.
I've actually finished writing a book. It's called the Human Body Owner's Workshop Manual, and it's based on basically everything I've learned and experimented with and tried on myself and my friends over the last 8 years or so.
Yes, you've been on a journey and have tried several things. In depth, you have tried several things, and you've been sharing your progress. You have a YouTube area to do that with. I think my mic is horrible.
It's D Murphy 25 on YouTube. I haven't really updated it recently, but I guess I'm preparing to do a kind of YouTube book launch as well. So I guess there'll be something on there. But yeah, it's literally not just about health and how the human body works. It's also our place in the universe and how we're creators in this universe, and how basically how to operate the universe book.
Oh my gosh, it's really in depth. And I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat. They said we have a little bit of an echo.
Oh.
That I'm not hearing. Let's see. Maybe if I bring the mic volume down a bit. Okay, anyway. So what made you decide to write all this down? Did you do it during your travels, or did you just say, I got to put this stuff in writing, maybe put together a few other things? How'd this book happen for you, Dave?
Well, yeah, it was kind of on my travels. It was, yeah, I've been talking about this stuff for the last 3 or 4 years now. And people who know me, they can't shut me up about it. So, I thought, well, I have to start writing it down. And I just got the idea, basically, to do a kind of rip-off of a Haynes car manual, and sort of do it that way. And I drew up a little picture of the cover, and it looked like a Haynes car manual. But then I contacted Haynes, and they basically told me they'd sue the pants off me if I used it. So
oh, nice.
So yeah, well, it's corporate interests. So yeah, I just redesigned the cover. But yeah, it was the idea, just to do a human body, a manual for the human body, because essentially we're not given a manual to work these things, and there's so much more to us that we never know anything about.
Wow. Unbelievable. I can just imagine. I have actually sat down and tried to put something like that together, not the same topic, but a book per se, and that's no easy undertaking. I thought maybe I'll finish this when my youngest is in college or something. I don't know.
Well, it's not easy. I mean, I'm not a writer really. I mean, I just talk a lot. But and if you read it, you'll actually be able to hear my voice in it, because I kind of write as I talk. So basically,
I'm gonna like that about it. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm going to like that about it. I'm going to like it holds the personality of the writer. It's not been edited to where it's so clean that it's sterile.
Yeah. One of my friends proofread it, and we've just actually I've just fielded a complaint actually from somebody who bought it, who didn't like a couple of grammatical errors. A bit surprised that they focused on that rather than some of the content of it, but you know, I guess that's what happens. But yeah, I'm not really a writer. I can't write in a straight line. You know, I couldn't write the book in, you know, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. I basically wrote, you know, all over the place. The last chapter first, and a couple of in the middle, then I did the first. Yeah, but so there was a lot of, I guess, grammatical errors where I started a thought and then finished it sort of later on, and maybe forgot what I started talking about in the beginning. So yeah, there was a few errors, and there still are a few errors. But I'm working on the latest revision, so hopefully I'll get them all.
Cass in the chat line said we should get one at birth, and it's true. You get a manual for a toaster, you get a manual for alarm clock, but a new baby, here you go, bye. and people, you know, they're a lot of them. Most of the people I knew and I grew up around would get their advice for health from their doctors, and maybe back before we were born, I don't know, it seemed like something happened to where the best interest went into the people selling the medical products rather than the interest of the patients. And again, so is this guy selling you a bunch of goods, or does he really care about your health? And no one is born knowing what to do, or no one has a baby with an instruction booklet on how to keep this body fit. There's mind, there's body, there's spirit, there's all kind of things combined.
Right. Well,
that you have to work on.
As babies, we come in knowing everything. That's the thing. You know, we consider babies as sort of little idiots. The only thing is they don't know how to speak the language, but they literally know everything. And
they learn sign language before they can talk. I know it's taught down at the community center here for babies. Babies that can't speak can make perfect signs showing they understand. And this may sound terrible of me, but I have a severely handicapped child. I've seen little babies turn their head and do something's wrong with him. That couldn't talk. You know, you could see it in their eyes. They're looking, they're saying that something's not right. You know, babies have it going on.
Yeah, I do.
They know a little more than they're given credit for.
Yeah, I do a little talk called Telepathy and the Complete Human, and in it I show two babies. It's a kind of famous YouTube clip with two babies who can only make the that sound, and they sit and they stand there and they have a conversation, and it's a real conversation. There's meaning being passed between them. And you know, they at one point they exchange a bit of talk, and simultaneously turn and walk to the sofa. So you know, babies, they're amazing creatures, but we're to treat them like little idiots.
Well, we teach it right out of them, don't we?
Yes, literally. If we could sort of get out of their way, and not. It's very difficult, and I'm not sure how to do this. That's why I didn't put anything about babies in the book. But,
It's starting a little. I'm starting a little early then.
But if we could get out of the way, you know, they could start teaching us, and I mean, I remember when my daughter was born, or when she was at least sort of, I think she was 2. First of all, she could see things that I couldn't see, and we thought she was just a bit strange at one point. But we noticed that she was looking at a corner of the room, and her eyes were moving, looking at something that I couldn't see, and we noticed the cat was looking at the same area.
Yeah, animals will do that as well, and they'll watch together. I've seen it myself.
Yeah, and my daughter also remembered being born as well. So at the time I wasn't awake, so I didn't think it was it was real. I thought she was a little idiot, kind of. But yeah, I wish I'd been awake then when she was a baby, so I could have...
A blank slate waiting to be taught, right? Yeah.
Yes. And literally when, up until they're 6 years old, they are a blank canvas. They're just taking everything in and learning about how the world works. And it's that first 6 years that they get all their programming, or we get all our programming, exactly. And all our fears and our doubts about ourselves and our victim mentality and everything that keeps us as these, little, weak, helpless creatures.
Yeah, well, you start learning about yourself. You start going to school. You start going to the doctor's office, Like, I was never so interested in health and anything until, whoops, I had a little baby all of a sudden. I was interested in everything that went in him and everything. Your world changes when it's not your body you're taking care of, because I pretty much didn't give a crap what I did to my body. I thought I was going to last forever kind of thing. I think we all get to a stage, whether in our teenage years or someone else I know in their 30s, but anyway, where you feel invincible and you get a little older, or you have care of somebody that may be fragile and you want to know. Now, if you go through the doctors and the TV like most people will do, in word of mouth and stuff, you'll notice that what's good for you changes like every 10 years. Well, this will help you live longer 10 years later. This is causing cancer. You really do need a healthy body, an honest opinion, and a way to go about seeking all these different balances in your life, because you can do everything healthy when you're, eating and all, but if you aren't healthy mentally, if you're living in a really bad mental state, say, in a bad situation, say a woman in an abusive situation, or a man in an abusive situation, that's also going to affect his health no matter how well they eat.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's a balance of all these different kind of things, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But the thing about this book is it gives us a totally different view of how your body works and how so-called disease works. And what I sort of propose in the book is that it's not about medicine. It's not about herbs or supplements or anything. Nothing that nothing you can put in the body will help the body heal, will make the body heal. Okay, no medicines, no herbs, no mineral supplements, no nothing. Okay, the only thing that can heal the body is the body itself. That's it, nothing else. And all the things that I propose in the book basically just basically allow you to get out of the body's way and let it do its stuff. And there is another aspect, as you mentioned, and that is that your mental state and your psychological state has a huge impact on your health. And not only that, it's not just your health, but on your the world around you, because that's something else that I go into, that
Yeah, not even. I just said abusive situation. Maybe, I hear people talk about work, and like just almost getting sick just because the place is so dysfunctional. People are so backstabbing. They, develop stomach ulcers and stuff like that. So you do have to have a balance.
Yeah, well, that's another aspect of what I talk about. That essentially all disease, so-called disease, starts in the mind. It's a mental trigger. So you have certain thought patterns, and those thought patterns manifest as an emotion. And what an emotion is a chemical release. So it's a chemical and hormone release in the body. It's for each emotion there's a specific signature of different chemicals and hormones, and those hormones basically get you ready for the consequences of the emotion. So if it's like fear, those hormones and those chemicals will it will draw the blood away from the center of you out to your arms and legs, so you can get ready to run. It will increase your heart rate. It will pump adrenaline. The adrenaline is already pumping, but it will turn off your immune system, basically, because in that situation you don't need your immune system. You need to get ready to run. So this chemical signature is only meant to be an emergency measure.
Wow.
But when we're in a chronic state of, emotional distress, most of us are stressed at work or
Yep.
any number of stresses. We harbour fear, and we harbour anger and all sorts of emotional things that have been, programmed into us since we were children, and we suffer these, chronic states of emotion that keep us in this emergency state almost constantly, and those chemicals start attacking, or causing problems in your body, and they manifest according to what kind of emotional trauma you're sort of dealing with. So if you're let's say angry, if you've got some sort of serious anger issues, it will manifest in your liver. You'll have liver problems. I think if it's grief, it'll be kidneys, and I can't remember offhand. But
oh my God, it's a wonder I can walk right now, because I'm being really challenged. I have somebody that I love that has a really bad problem with alcohol, and wanting to daily argue with me, and then I have a sick child who needs my eyes on him constantly. He can like pick locks, he can sneak out, he's not stupid as far as that, and he loves to run, and then the house needing the repairs if we're selling, and just so many things happening. Like we don't have a car right now, so we walk daily to the shops, which takes quite a bit of your day to get there and bring back what you need every day and prepare. It's just like, it can be really very challenging. And we have a question for you. Neil of Reality Bites wants to know if emotion is a movement of electrical impulses.
As far as I'm concerned, it's not as such. Again, emotion, like fear or anger or whatever, is essentially a release of chemicals, and we feel that as an emotion. So a specific mix of chemicals, when they appear in the body, we experience it as emotions. There are some parasites that literally mimic our emotions by releasing or mimicking this chemical signature. So yeah, that's what it is. I don't know. I don't know anything about emotion as a movement of electrical impulses, though.
Oh, okay. And Cass says depression is unresolved anger. Like I say, in life, there are so many, especially now, the economy's bad. There's a lot of stress going on with people with finances, and there are different things you just absolutely have to deal with. Getting yourself out of that and into a healthier situation emotionally can be pretty challenging. Do you go over that in your book?
Well, yes, there is a way of reprogramming, the way you respond to psychological triggers.
Well, I had to do that with my youngest son that's autistic. First of all, I noticed if he blew up and lost it, and I blew up and lost it, there was nothing but a storm.
Mm-hmm.
But, if one of us don't play the game, and it has to be me, I've got to hold it in, and I got to, I'm telling you about a 160-pound little boy taking furniture and smashing against the wall, and to remain calm, it takes everything I can. I'm a bit of a loose latch, but I've had to really control it with him. But I haven't ever taken that out of myself to control with anyone else. Actually, I think I use other situations to snap where I've held back from that one, just as some kind of release. I know that makes me sound awful, but I'm being really honest. That's a fault I will have. It's like, oh, really? Boom, and just let someone else have it, maybe that don't deserve it quite as bit, because I had to pull in the reins earlier,
Right. Well, I give an example that happened to me. I was working in an eco village at one point, and there was a whole bunch of us that were supposed to be working on a kitchen. And I kind of got up one morning and I started working in the kitchen, and I was there for a couple of hours on my own working. And I kind of looked across the way, and I saw a few of the guys, lounging around, enjoying the sunshine. And I heard this voice in my head going, "Why am I the only bastard working? What the hell is he doing? Why isn't he in here doing this?" And I heard this voice, and I was thinking, "Oh, he sounds angry." And then I realised, well, if I'm here going, "He sounds angry," who's he? Who is that voice? Because it's not me. I'm back here. Yeah. And I realised that because I was observing this voice, I was listening to this voice, I wasn't getting emotionally involved in it. Before, I would have heard that voice, and I would have been getting angry, and I would have been looking at that guy I was yelling at, or in my mind yelling at, and thinking, next time I see him, I'm gonna have a go at him and stuff like that. But this time, because I'd detached from that voice, and I was just observing it, I wasn't getting emotionally involved. I wasn't feeling those emotions, and therefore I didn't sort of bring any drama into the real world. Yeah,
takes two, doesn't it?
It does. That's how you can step away from those emotions. If you can reprogram yourself by being aware of when that voice is talking to you and realizing it's not you. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And again, they used to tell us when we were little kids, hold your breath and count to 10 before you react, kind of thing. In other words, kind of give yourself a moment to think about your reaction, and is that?
But they're all saying that it's you that's angry, and it's you that's got to react. It's not. It's a voice. It's a program from when you were a child. It was that in that instance is a program when I was a child of feeling unfairly put upon. I'm doing all this stuff, and there's other people who should be doing it with me. And that was a program that was running I wasn't aware of, and it would just kick in, and I would feel the emotions, and I'd get angry, and there'd be drama. Yeah,
I can remember it fresh because I had to work in the fields, as a little kid, and I can remember it would start raining or something, and thinking, I'll get sick and die. That'll show them, I'll get pneumonia out here, and how unfair. None of the kids at school have to work in the fields, and I never did get sick, and obviously I didn't die, but I can remember having those those just angry thoughts and just feeding them too as I was out there.
But we're full of subconscious programs.
How do you trigger yourself to realize, boom, I'm in that mode, and how to stop it and break it out? That's probably what your book goes into, so you may not want to.
Yeah. I do go into that quite a bit, but yeah, it's into. I mean, one of the things I tell people to do is to start meditating, to be able to quieten that voice, and just step away from it. It's as soon as you realise that's what's going on, you don't have to be involved anymore, and you can start recognising the these triggers that have been programmed into you since you were a child, I found, when I started realising there was a causal link between, your thoughts and your emotions and your health, your state of your I started cataloguing all these emotional states and what they might do, and I found there was already a book that had already done that. It's Louise L. Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. She's basically catalogued all the psychological thought patterns that trigger disease, and in the back of her book, You Can Heal Your Life, there's a comprehensive list of these triggers and how to correct them. So I borrowed heavily from her book, but I just basically put in the middle of it a way of actually dealing with the symptoms of these emotional states. So with the free therapies that I've been dealing with over the last few years.
Well, it sure can make a difference on your physical life if you're emotional, if you're in a good place emotionally.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's all there is. I'm going into the metaphysical side of the world of the book now, but at the end of the day, we live in a construct of mind stuff. There's nothing real here. If you go into quantum physics, they will tell you that everything that you think is matter and real, when you delve right down into it, there's nothing there. And our bodies are made of the same stuff, so it kind of feels real. But really, it's a construct of mind. And I kind of liken it to a video game. If you think of one of those video games where you see through the character's eyes on the screen, so like Call of Duty or something like that, that video game is being produced. That whole universe that character can move around in is being created just for that character. He's the only important thing in that whole universe.
True. Mm-hmm.
And to the character on screen, it's very real. It'll bump into things, and it's constrained to do certain things, and it can do some things, can't do other things. It's a real universe for it. If you could feel what the character feels, it would feel very real. But all it is a organisation of light pixels on a screen. Mm-hmm. And literally, this universe is pretty much an organisation of light pixels organised by information in 3D. That's it. Same sort of thing.
A lot of people, we're surrounding ourselves, and you don't find the TV on much here unless it's a repeat for the millionth time of Toy Story for my youngest video. But there's so much out there telling you how to feel. Things that are you've got to remove yourself. First of all, a little change of scenery never hurt anyone. Go for a walk. Get away from the billboards. You get off of work. At work, there's ads on everything, and there, you have the company thing or whatever it is you do. You're surrounded by that. You come home, somebody's cutting you off. There's all these signs telling you what to do, how to think and feel. Then they get home, they turn on the television, start cooking. Then there's the sad commercial about call your friend. There's constantly outer influences that need to be turned off. You got to meet the world. Find a different. Neil and I go for walks, and a lot of it. We went for a walk before the car broke. Just to let you know, we walked a lot. Found a King James coin in a cornfield where we were walking in England.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really cool. But I think a lot of that, you've got to take yourself out of your everyday routine sometimes, just to give your mind a breather. Look at people, not the people on TV, the people you're passing.
Yeah, well, my point of view here about that is there is only one person in the universe, and that's you.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a projection, is a projection of you still, essentially. There was a guy that I met at the festival. He did talks on lucid dreaming. You know about lucid dreaming.
Oh, I've only heard little bits about it.
It's where you wake up in a dream and you're able to now control that dream. Once you,
I knew some people that were studying how to control through that what they dreamed or what happened in a dream.
Yeah, so you kind of wake up in the middle of a dream and realise, oh, I'm dreaming, and then you can sort of play around with this dream. So this guy, his name's Charlie Morley, he spoke about how one of the first times when he actually woke up in a dream, he thought it was really cool, and he started to bump into things and think, oh, I could feel that hurt. And he started talking to people and looking at trees and stuff in this dream. And then he realised that everything in that environment that he was in was merely a projection of his subconscious. Everything, the tree, the table, the people, they're all part of his subconscious. His subconscious was making the whole thing up.
Absolutely.
And literally, that's pretty much what we're in right now. When you're in that dream, it feels real. It might be a bit weird, but it feels real, just as real as it is out here.
True.
And I also talk about how, when you stand in front of a tree, and you can look at the tree and you can see the colour of its bark and its leaves, and you can reach out and you can feel the texture of the bark, and you can hear the rustling of the leaves and the wind through the leaves. You can smell the fragrance of the tree, but you aren't actually experiencing a tree at all. What's actually happening is you're getting the reflected light off the tree, and it's stimulating certain rods and cones in your eyes, and electrical signals are going down your optic nerve into the back of your head, along with all sorts of other signals from your nose, from your skin, from your ears, and all that. And your brain, in about 1/10 of a second, puts it all together and creates what it thinks is out there. So it's not actually seeing or experiencing what's out there, what we call a tree. It's making up in the back of your head what it thinks is there. It's a personal interpretation. So your interpretation of a tree might be completely different to my interpretation of a tree. But we're looking at the same, or essentially, energy pattern out in the real world, but our brains are interpreting it differently. So there is no objective colour blue. Colour is something our brain makes up, because you know, the electrical signals coming from our eyes aren't blue, they're just electrical signals.
Yeah.
So literally, we're in our own universe, no matter what. We're all in our own universes.
And it's what you make it. It is.
Yes. And literally, because it's your own universe, you have control of it. You don't know you've got control of it. You know, you don't know that you're shining the sun. You don't know that you're growing your hair right now. You don't know that you're beating your heart. But that's all true. You're doing it. And I'm not saying everyone, you know, you're God. You're an aspect of the universe, the entire universe. Just like, let's say, I can't think of a writer now. just like William Shakespeare would be God, and Othello might be a character. You know, it's a being with a life of his own.
You're the writer of your own story.
Yes, but yeah, you are the writer. You're writing and acting it out. You know, simultaneously and all the time.
That's a really healthy way to look at it.
It is, and you know, the universe wouldn't be here without you. It'd be different without you. So you know, you can't feel, you know, bad about being here when you see it for what it is. You know, this isn't a horrible, terrifying place. It's a playground. It literally is a playground.
Wow. Now, let everybody know again where they can get your book. I know we need to put it in the chat line again, too.
Okay, well, it's available on lulu.com, and it's called the Human Body Owner's Workshop Manual. And I'll try and put it in the chat box again. But I have difficulty sort of operating the computer and talking at the same time, so
yeah. We'll also make sure I'll even scroll back, find the link, and place it at the end of the show too, because I just want everyone to check it out. And we also have holidays coming up. It's things like these that benefit your friends, your neighbors, and things. I would like to put out a pitch. Your mother makes the most beautiful handmade diaper changing apparatus. It's beautiful. Looks like a pillow. It's all handmade. She made one for our grandson, which we proudly took to Scotland with us. And when you buy something handmade or this book or something, you are helping rather than the big corporations. You're giving a wonderful gift. Plus, Neil just shared it in the chat line, the link again. Plus, you're helping out your friends and neighbors. And who would you rather help out? You know, I don't think Moss Brothers or Macy's or Tiffany's needs any more of our money. I'm not getting any more of mine.
Well, what's handy about this book is that at the back there's a reference for a whole range of so-called diseases that and how to deal with them. So it gives you the emotional trigger for each disease. It gives you you know, how to deal with the physical manifestation of it, and how to reprogram your body so it doesn't reoccur.
Wonderful. I know I'm going to check it out. Everybody else get it, and I'll keep sharing it on the show too, because really love talking to you, Dave. It's just, you know, we've been trying to follow you either through your work or your videos, or just even talking to your mom. How's Dave? What's he doing? And so it's always good. And I don't know if I should mention what you said before the show at the moment, but there's some new things on the horizon, so stay tuned. We'll be hearing a little bit more, maybe from Allegedly Dave.
I'm happy to say. I mean, I'm trying to rethink, you know, how I've been sort of living the last 2 years now. You know, I've been kind of experimenting with myself, and we're trying to live outside of the matrix. It's while I've kind of done it, and kind of done sort of fairly well with it.
Yes, you have.
It's, you know, things have changed, and I'm having to rethink. So I don't know how it's going to play out, but you know, my situation will probably change, and if it does, then I might be able to come back on and become a regular host again.
That would be amazing. Everyone looks forward to it.
Well,
it'll be so great working with you again.
It will be. Unfortunately, my Skype has kicked me out, and at the same time as Facebook's kicked me out as well. So I don't know if something's going on, but I might have to. I can't get into my Skype anymore, so I'll have to try and get connected to you guys again.
You know, we've had some really strange problems. Maybe a new Skype name will fix it. I don't know. It's we you know, I've had my broadcaster disappear only to come back without things, and then show up later with everything intact. Just really strange things.
It wouldn't say that you guys are going to be the target of some attacks, because you know, I'll say it again, you guys have done amazingly well at expanding and you know, and enhancing Wake Radio. It's been brilliant to see it. So,
well, Steve Allen,
you know.
I mean, you know, Granada Steve, he's the cornerstone and the post. He's been there. I've done a lot of traveling this year, and everything's kind of been dumped on him lately, so he deserves all the praise. Most of the hosts now are really just, well, I should say, we've got some amazing hosts and amazing help, but if it wasn't for Granada Steve, none of us probably would be here today, so...
Yeah, well,
I really thank him for.
Paula. It's you as well. Come on.
But seriously, you know, we've had so much happening here lately. It's just been, you know, just one thing after another. So I can't sing his praises. He's my brother. You know, all these years with you guys have been amazing, and I've watched it come from us talking to nobody. You know, because I was the night shift. Remember? Up in the beginning, and I was just like, one person would come in the chat room like, hey, wait, come in please, talk to me, I'm here till the morning, you know. To actually having like TV, we're having, you know, live broadcast, and just getting bigger.
It's kind of amazing, really, isn't it? I mean, even though certain other radio stations who won't be mentioned kind of saw us as a big conspiracy.
I know, right?
It's just a bunch of friends who used to get together on Skype after listening to a radio station, and deciding, let's do our own. I mean, and years later, here it is, going strong. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
I miss those nights. Those nightly talks, you know. Yeah. Sometimes it'd just be like 7 or 8 of us sitting there, and it'd be quiet, but it would be just such a comfortable thing, sitting around, and that's how Awake was born. And gosh, things have really taken flight now, and so many stations have joined, and we have these changing times. We have 1800 Weebly, we have Live Pulse News. Oh my gosh. Australian station just starting up, thanks to Zeetz, who holds the nights together for us now. He's our night owl, and he actually is bringing in some really positive things. So we continue to grow, and wow, it's going to be great having you back in the mix.
Yeah, well, I look forward to it, and you know, fingers crossed. We'll see what pans out. I'm still not making plans as such. I'm just I'm kind of making a basic sort of direction, and see what the universe has in store for me.
Well, keep us in mind and keep us abreast, because we love you and we always want to know you're all right and doing well.
Oh, thank you, Paula. I certainly will.
And I guess we'll go to a song, and we're back with Dave Murphy. Dave, you were talking about some experiments you were getting into.
Well, I guess my next year I'm planning to do some new talks, and one of them that just kind of tickled my fancy is sort of Jedi training for adults.
That's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about what that would... Do we have to buy those white stormtrooper... No, we get the capes. The capes and the long boots. No, but seriously, what...
Well, I do a talk on, as I said, a telepathy on the complete human, and I talk about some of the sort of hidden powers that we have. You know, we're all telepathic, for instance. And when I was in Morocco, there was a guy who was literally showing people how to do telekinesis. Essentially, you know, people were learning it and actually moving, you know, little bits of tinfoil, but they were literally moving these things.
I was wondering about that, because Neil and I actually watched something last night that contained a bit of this Russian woman, and they even put the things that she moved under like a glass box and tried to control the environment just to make sure there was no trickery. This woman had, like, I don't know, you remember the little plastic covered toys? You had a little ball and you had to get the ball in the hole. Well, she had something looked like a watch like that had a little silver ball that she could just, with her mind, make this ball just start going around and around in circles and moving different things. And I know the human brain, we use very little of our brain. And I wonder, you know, you wonder if she's tapped into something, if they've done any recent experiments on somebody to see exactly what parts of the brains are being used when that's happening. I don't know.
Well, this is the thing. We have, and I've said this before, we have complete control over every aspect of our life and every aspect of our universe. And the only thing that's stopping us is this thing we call the conscious mind. And the conscious mind has been programmed to believe, you know, that we're little helpless creatures, and all there is this physical thing, and that's it. But we have this subconscious mind that's connected to the rest of the universe, and it knows everything. It knows the future, it knows the past, it knows everything about this universe. And you know, we can access it. You know,
I completely agree with that, and I don't care who thinks I'm weird, because, you know, once you get in the truth movement, most of the people you know think you're weird anyway.
Yeah.
But and now everyone else will too. But you know, I've had instances where you know, the deja vu thing, where I've actually had told a group of people what was going to happen next. So I did have a lot of people to tell this, to test it, and let it play out before the eyes. And actually was some people, one was a policeman, a state trooper, who stopped me and asked me if I ever had any of those dreams about him, because I'd say, you know, I could see it almost playing like a reel when it happened. To please call him, because he wasn't going to work after what he just saw. And so I had about 30 people involved in that one thing, and I was actually called a witch by a couple other people who kind of hung away from me after also seeing the exact same thing. So I do believe in that. And you, as you were talking about the lucid dreams, an aunt of mine, which is really my father's aunt, did that quite often. She would use the train as her guide as to where to fly to in these dreams. and she could actually see people and places and what was going on that she would tell me. So I've heard about this since I was a little child.
Well, there's a few things that anyone can do just to see this thing in action, actually. If you've ever gone to a place where it's really difficult to park, do you know somewhere that's really difficult to park?
Yes.
Okay. Well, before you set out, take a few minutes to sit quietly and visualize the perfect parking space. Just visualize it empty. So, just find the perfect spot and visualize it completely empty. Okay? And if you do that before you set out, what will happen is you'll turn up and it will be empty, or a car will just pull out of it as you pull up.
I've actually had that happen too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's literally you basically telling the universe what you want, and what you want to happen. There's a kind of a way to do it, but it's not as simple as just saying, I want this. But there is a way of accessing the creative power that you have, which we kind of call our imagination, but it's much more than that. It's literally the way that we communicate with the universe.
This is funny. This is part of I, as a teen, had went on this sales crew. They traveled extensively, but one part of it in the morning was like as soon as you woke up, you had this programming going on, and the one thing the man would tell you to do is to dress, talk, walk, conduct yourself into who you want to become, visualize who you want to be, dress,
Exactly it.
talk that way, walk that way, conduct your life as if you're that person. You will become that person, that sale. And then he would have people, act out who they'd want to be, and it was pretty neat to watch people change into who they really wish they were, and very eye-opening for some.
As I said, that's exactly it, because there is only now. All there is in this universe is this now moment. Okay, I had a couple of experiences with a certain medicinal weed, and it told me, in no uncertain terms, there is only the now moment. That's it. And in order to basically change who you are and change things in the universe, you have to visualize it in the now. So as you explained there, if you act the person as if you are that person now, then the universe will respond by making you that person, essentially.
I know one thing. I'm working on some really hard things, and I'm gonna do that. Well, one thing is I have a 12-year-old son that's still in diapers, and I've heard 12 was another opening for the preteen hormone thing, so I'm going to visualize this child too the whole time. I'm going to give it everything I've got for him and for me. It's about $200 a month just to buy these things he has to wear, and
actually the book can help you. Actually, the book can help you because there's a testimonial in the back from somebody who had a very similar problem with a daughter who was basically has been in diapers for 20 years, and literally she started her on one of the therapies, and now she's out of the diapers now and not has been dry ever since.
You can try to imagine what that's like for that poor woman, but boy, I really know. And wow. I need to put that on the site because there's another mother encouraging me. She has a 13-year-old. She says been out of diapers for a year, so they had started at 12 as well. And another lady that has a 6'5" son, tall son, still wanting the fun undies and things, because I was trying to find an incentive, like he likes race cars or box cars. How do you find a size for a grown man with little cars on it and all, and was trying to get advice. And I really should also share this book with that group as well. I had probably 20 hits on the one post that I was ready to try this again.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the testimonial here. I think it's her daughter, and she's mentally and physically disabled. She's 23, but she... Hang on, I can't find it here. She's 23, has been in diapers for 21 years. She was incontinent due to cerebral palsy and couldn't stay dry for more than 10 minutes.
Oh my God, what a work day.
And literally after 2 months, her bladder was healed, and after 4 months her bowels were healed, and she's been diaper free since spring of 2012.
You can't imagine what that means to those people.
Yeah.
It's just hard to imagine. It's like taking care of a baby, a newborn baby, all your life,
Yeah.
And the baby just gets bigger.
So there is a possibility you can help him.
Absolutely, and help others in the same situation. There was a woman with a 17-year-old still going through the same thing. A lot of people watching, and word of mouth. Even an honest doctor had told me in the beginning, you'll get more from word of mouth from parents sharing their information than you ever will at a doctor's office.
Yeah, well,
the people that live it and you go through it, that's the ones you ask.
My advice is to stay well clear of doctors' offices.
Oh my gosh. Especially here in the States. I don't know about schools there, but even the schools are pushing psychotropic drugs. And at a special needs school, you can imagine, I've had a lot of pressure. They've, so far, knock on wood this year, they haven't pulled me in to give me the talk, but I think they know me by now. My son is the only one at that school that's not on some type of medication. The only child. And the school goes from kindergarten to 12th grade.
Yep. When I was in the States, I had very high pressure, and when I went to the doctor, he put me on these very strong high blood pressure tablets, and he gave me a whole box full of free samples. And after 3 samples, he said, okay.
That's enough to get you interested, and then I'll get you a script.
And then he basically told me that once I'm on these things, I can't get off them.
He would probably have to wean you off, because if you just stopped, it could probably kill you.
Well, that's the thing. It's you start on these things, and you can't get off them. So what's the difference between him and the heroin dealer down the road? Because they do the same thing.
I think you have to go look for the heroin dealer when the doctors and the big pharma come looking for you. They're looking for you through your television. Mm-hmm. They're looking for you when they put the billboard up.
Yeah.
The TV commercial, ask your doctor. Yeah, they want you to go in. Are you tired when you wake up in the morning? Yeah, well, so is everyone else. You don't need a pill.
Yeah, well, I start with a disclaimer in the book to say, a note to offended doctors, because they will be offended when they read. Because I'm not too kindly to those people. I know that most of them are doing it for good reasons, for humanitarian reasons, but they're participating in a system that is killing people. It's killing people left, centre. One of the biggest causes of death in the world now is what's known as iatrogenic death. Death by doctor. Death by properly prescribed prescription drugs.
That were taken properly, not something someone overdosed on because they got mad and wanted the leave the world. This is something they were taken by their instructions. It kills more people than car wrecks every year.
Right.
Prescription drugs taken correctly kill more people every year than the street drugs.
Right.
And you can tell a whole room full of people this and watch the curtain close, the little glass door that they seal you out of.
Yeah.
Because at the start of the year, I'm like, where's the school bus? I call the school. Well, guess what? We're not going to pick up your kid. You didn't have a vaccine. And here comes, I know they're just waiting. Oh, God, she's coming down here again. And so now I have to get the form from the office that actually gives you, to opt out. I know my rights. From the place where they actually give the shots. So I'm in the room with a ton of parents who've been told you need to get your child injected, inspected before they come into this room. And I'm standing up just talking to everybody. You don't have to do this. This is very dangerous. Asked to see the studies, asked to see the ingredients. No one even looked at me, Dave. But I stood and I freaking talked the whole time I was in that place. I'm just like, you do not have to do this. I'm opting out. You can do the same thing. Please get information, because there were probably 150 kids and parents combined in that place waiting as well.
Well, I'm actually working on the revised edition of the book, and I'm actually putting in for people who are being sort of bullied and harassed into taking the vaccines, or giving the vaccines to their children, a couple of documents to give to your doctor. One of them is a notice of conditional acceptance. So you basically saying in this notice, I'm happy for you to give me this vaccine as long as you provide me with the following information. Things like, I want to see at least one double-blind, placebo-controlled study that says that vaccines are effective and safe.
Which they cannot
all
produce.
This sort of thing. Which they can't provide because it
doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. Justification for injecting poisonous substances past your natural defences. And then I finish off with a liability statement saying that I've as a doctor I've checked this for various maladies and illnesses. They don't have any, and I take full responsibility if they subsequently come down with all these vaccine risk factors. So literally they're taking liability for giving
pushing drugs.
Yes, so they won't sign it. You're saying I'm happy to have it. You just have to sign that you think it's safe, and you'll take responsibility for any aftermath, and they won't do it. So they won't give you the vaccine.
Well, the one thing that I have benefited from, I've benefited in many ways working with Awake Radio and the movement and with the National Health Federation, but I've actually met doctors and holistic dentists and people that do get it, that will tell you, my family doctor won't give them. You can't pay him to give a vaccine. His children doesn't give vaccines, but he doesn't speak against them either. It's like there's some kind of gag. And I've actually been to these drug, a doctor in the States has to have a continuing education. And the drug companies put on these events. It could be dinner and a dance, and let me tell you, they spend a lot of money to do this.
Yeah.
And there's also educational talk with video on a new drug and what they found out. And this is it. This is where most of the doctors get their education, from the people that's pushing them to push it.
Yep.
Never saw one of them go home and actually look up anything on their own. They take the word of what's going on. They also, now they got called out on this I guess, about 15 years ago, but they're still doing it in different ways because they would give you trips. Whoever in there wrote the most prescriptions for the drug that they had just showed them got all kind of benefits. You got all these free drugs they would give you. I know I went to Disney World on pharmaceutical representative tickets back when my son was probably 3 years old. Yeah, I went to some of those parties, so I know how they work. And that is considered their continuing education. So they're not actually in a lab or they're not in a school classroom. They're at a big party. They're watching a movie set up to sell them this product for them, and they're giving incentive for them to sell. So they're not taking anyone's interest. They're thinking about, oh, we're going to go to Costa Rica because I'm going to prescribe as many of these damn things as I can.
Exactly. Golf trips and holidays, the whole lot.
There's your continued education for the American doctor.
Yeah. But, as I said, I don't doubt that there are, good people who really believe what they're doing. But it's not the people per se, it's the system they're forced to work within. It's a training they've been given. They're not trained as doctors anymore.
No.
They're just drug pushers.
They're drug pushers. You can go in there and make up some type of, and it's kind of funny, and if you have the time and the office visit money in your pocket, make up some symptoms and watch them grab that book. It comes out every so often. They start looking up what drug to go with the symptoms. Just, you can make something up. They can find a drug for that.
And you know what? You can just look at any of the drugs that they push on you and see the impressive list of side effects. And you know what? They're not side effects. They're effects. They're literally the effects of the drug.
Of the drug. And, I like that you pointed that out.
And they're literally designed, to keep you as a lifelong customer, so that you need some other symptom suppressant to deal with the one you've just taken, and so on and so on and so on. We've just I've just helped my mum move, and we're just throwing away 2 boxes of drugs that she had. 2 big boxes of drugs that she was on.
Oh, you collect them as a family. That say, I've lived in this house 20 years. It seems like you can find them in the pores when you're cleaning out cabinets, just flushing all this stuff, trying to get rid of all this crap. Because you knew it was crap when you, quote unquote, try this for your symptom. They had my father, and back when, and my dad's in his 90s now, back when he was in his 40s, from different complaints, he was taking probably 15 different medications, and he literally just dropped one day, and a friend of his urged him to go to see this chiropractor, kind of new agey thing at that time, and so they wanted a list of medications, and he said, there's your problem. And he went one by one, and he started getting my father off these drugs slowly, because like you were told, this could kill you. Your body would go into shock after being used to this many drugs for a certain amount of time. And they replaced the drugs with different vitamin supplements and things, and all of that went away.
Yep.
The man thought he was dying in his 40s, and all of that went away. He's 93 years old now.
So the point is that when most people start, they usually go into the doctor with one sort of malady, one sort of illness, and the doctor prescribes them with something, and that causes something else. And they go back, and the doctor gives them something else, and that something else causes something else. And also the interaction between the 2 drugs causes other things. So they go back and they get more stuff. I am a poster child for that, Dave. I do a home remedy, homeopathic, plus I have to have a patch. I have a degenerative, which just only gets worse, neurological problem with one of my legs. I also have rheumatoid arthritis, and because of walking funny for so many years, I've got an osteoarthritis, different
things that I can control as long as I'm not traveling across borders. And when I travel across borders, I have to use what the doctor would give me. One is for pain, but it makes me nauseous. So another one is for the nausea, which that one will knock you slap out. Another one has to wake you up. I swear I have 5 drugs for one thing that I could take at home.
Can I tell you how the
and they make you stupid. The painkiller
works?
Yeah, it you're still feeling the pain. It's just, I think a kind of a blocking, but it also destroys your liver, destroys other organs. I mean, this is what you can legally take on an airplane with you, people. Something that will kill you.
Let me just tell you how it's relieving your headache or your pain. Okay.
Yeah.
So the pain that you're feeling is your body dealing with a problem. It's literally dealing with a problem. It's telling you, I'm dealing with a problem. Rest. Let me get on with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you take that pill starts attacking other things. As you say, it attacks your liver or something. Yeah.
You have to be tested with your liver on that, because it's totally destroying it while you're taking it.
Right. So your body switches its resources away from dealing with what it was dealing with. Yeah.
Now it's trying to deal with that.
Now it has to deal with the poison you've just given it. So it starts working to get the poison out of your liver, and now you can't feel the other pain anymore. That's how it works. It's just literally the pain is there. Is your body saying, I'm dealing with something.
It makes me think of the way my dad used to joke, like if you had a splinter or something that was hurting or bothering you, he would take out his knife, like, let me cut your hand. Your splinter won't bother you anymore.
Exactly. It's the same principle. But that's literally what it does, and now your body isn't dealing with what it was originally dealing with now, and so that's getting worse. That's sort of being allowed to continue without you knowing about it, and now your body's also having to deal with the poison.
Plus, you start feeling bad about yourself, because I know I take that stuff. I'm slow, I'm sluggish, my brain isn't as sharp. I feel stupid now. I can notice it in me. Other people can notice it in me. Not, I'm not taking that now, thank God. But, when I am, it's very noticeable.
Right. Well, you know what? If you
so you start feeling bad about yourself too. You're like, oh God, why'd I do something so stupid? Well, you're taking all this medication.
Well, we've been indoctrinated into believing it's what you're supposed to do. But,
yeah, I'm back at home on my regular routine, thank God, because I don't know how people live that way. I know there are many people that have different things, like you're saying, lifelong pains that they're treating the wrong way. They're throwing this medication at it. They're not being healed by it. They're only being covered in something else being attacked at the same time. They're shortening your life. If that chiropractor hadn't got my father off those drugs, he would have been dead before 50.
Probably.
The man, he was on his way to the grave at that time, 40 years ago.
Well, you can email me, Paula, with basically a list of your symptoms and how you're feeling and stuff, and I'll put together a little health plan for you.
Oh, that was awesome! Thank you so much, Dave.
Yeah, it's just probably between 4 and 6 months, and you just follow what I tell you to do, and it's not going to cost you anything.
And we'll do another show and talk about it.
Yeah, and you should see a difference in the way your leg feels, and probably your weight as well. Within the first week, you'll start to feel things.
Wonderful! I can't wait to get started.
Right, just email me with information about your symptoms, how you're feeling, what you've got apparently, and what medication you're taking, if you're taking any, and I'll put something together for you.
Actually, for the RA, I've chosen to not take anything that they have to prescribe me. Right now, I'm just trying to do it with diet and exercise. I'm getting a lot of exercise.
Right.
We're kind of out there anyway. Most of us in this house don't want to be. We try to get out and into the air as much as possible.
Good.
But yeah, so eventually, hopefully sometime by next year, we're going to be working on an actual studio for Awake Radio and Awake Radio TV on the U.S. side. So we're building up a lot of things and we got Allegedly Dave coming back. You guys need to tune in. Please tell your friends to come over and have a listen. You can ask questions. You can get involved. And don't forget to pick up Dave's book. Gotta do that.
Well, as I said, if anybody actually has got some issue they're dealing with, and they want to try something different, get in contact with me, and I'll do the same sort of thing. I'll put together a healing plan for him.
Do you have an email that we can give out, or somewhere they can contact you, Dave?
Sure, it's Dave@allegedlydave.com.
That's an easy one to remember, guys. Dave@allegedlydave.com. See what he can do for you. Maybe you'd like to also join in after I've had my regiment for a while and join us and talk about the benefits that you felt.
Well, in the book, I've got a whole bunch of testimonials, and not only do I put the testimonials in there, but I put their email addresses in there as well, so that you can actually
talk to the actual people that did it. That really is good, because I don't know how many things I've seen, like with autism, that I actually want to talk to the parent of the child. You can actually reach these people that Dave has listed. Wonderful.
Yeah. So it's been kind of a bit of a bugbear of mine that I read these books and they say, these testimonials they all sound really good, but you can't really contact them. You don't even know if they're real. So everyone that's given me a testimonial was somebody that I've dealt with, directly, either personally or through social media, and they've agreed to give me their email addresses as well.
That's amazing. There must be some really good people out there. And once you find something that works for you, you get pretty excited about it, and you don't mind telling others.
Well, this is the thing. It's not a question of whether it works for you or not. It has to work for you because it's your own body that's doing it.
Exactly.
And, so it's not something that may work and it might not work for me. No, it will, because it's your own body. And when you start to realize how your body works and how the allocation of energy, your body's energy is vitally important, then it can do anything but work for you.
Wow. Gosh, it was just fortuitous to actually see you in the line today and actually get to pull you in, because I tell you, I didn't have a guest, and I was really going to try to rough it out and put anything out I could, and you were just a blessing to see. Always brighten up when I see your mom, it's family, people here are more like family than anything else.
Yeah, I'd love to see Pondy turn up again at some point, and a couple of other family members. But yes, I do agree.
I would too. We talked to him a while back, Steve and I both, and things were looking a bit up for him. So that could be, and he did say it could be a possibility in the future. Right now, he's pretty remote. He's off the grid. As per the last conversation Steve and I had with him, and he would if he could. He has very limited internet at this time, But gosh, I'd love to see him back too.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got limited internet, just as I've got very limited internet. So yeah, hopefully things will change, and yeah, I'd love to see him back as well.
Yeah, and you guys don't forget we have Reality Bites Rocks coming up on the hour, less than 15 minutes away. So you'll want to hear our amazing, velvety voiced Neil Foster. So you stay tuned. I'm a little prejudiced there, but comes with the territory. He's my sweetheart. He's a good guy.
Well, he's all right.
So anything else? He's got the last 10 minutes. May end out with a song tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say about the Jedi training for adults.
Oh yes, please get into that. We have a bit.
Well, yeah, it was just that you know, as well as the things like telepathy and telekinesis that I could show people how to do. It's also the ethos behind being a Jedi. It's it's non-confrontational. I was also going to show a bit about Aikido. I don't know if you've ever come across Aikido as a martial art. All martial arts seem to be very kind of confrontational, very sort of kicky, punchy. I want to hurt my opponent. But Aikido's different. I call it the art of helping your opponent lie down on the ground. And that's it. I mean, you use no energy, and you just assist your opponent to lie down on the ground in a kind of, almost in a loving way. You don't hurt them. You just take them down to the ground very slowly, and there's nothing they can do. So
wow.
It's just a different approach to life as well. It's still a bit hazy. I'm still putting the thing together, but I'm getting very excited about it because it may well be the next book as well. I don't know.
Wonderful!
But,
wow. But that's why I want you to get over to the U.S. because I know we'll be planning events here. We get things going, and gosh, we'd sure love to have you.
Where are you based, by the way? I can't remember. It's Florida, isn't it?
Yeah, Central Florida at the moment. We're looking at a piece of property in northern Florida, but we're in more of going toward the more rural areas. Getting away from the coastline a bit.
Yeah, last time I was there, it was I was getting bitten to death by no-see-ums.
Oh, well, everything has taken a bite out of Neil. Everything has taken a bite out of him. I told him the bugs like the foreign food. Oh, poor guy. He's like one big smorgasbord over here.
Yeah, they like big, don't they?
It's funny, it's not funny. I was just looking at the bites, so I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting right next to this. So you know who's sweeter, right? He's going all martial arts on some mosquitoes, let me tell you. You want to hang one of them's dead body up outside the door so everyone will know what happens to mosquitoes at my house.
There's some no-see-ums that you just get bitten and it's like there's nothing there.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly. And they come in on you like a cloud.
Yeah, reality bites, Neil.
It sure does. And bites and bites and bites. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a little more under control. Florida's a jungle, and people have paved roads on it and put some high rises, but this is still very much a jungle, and the bugs will let you know it.
Well, there is one place in the middle of Florida that you will not get bitten in.
Where would that be? Oh, you mean in the middle? Where's that?
Well,
Oh, well, gosh, that's been sprayed and resprayed.
It's sprayed every night.
Oh my God! Can you imagine
I
what's in all that?
Yeah, I was there. When I was there, I was up at something like 4 o'clock in the morning one morning, and I saw them all out spraying, and they do it every single night. That's why in the Disney resort nobody gets bitten. You know, there's not a blade of grass out of place. It's because literally they've got an army of people spraying toxins in the air.
Yeah, don't forget they've got a big underground too. But yeah, that is true because you know that was a swamp before Mr. Walt went down there.
Yeah, and that's my kind of not allegory. I'm losing my words now. That's how I describe the world as we see it. It's like Disneyland, you know. On the surface, everything is just so. There's not a blade of grass out of place. It looks all nice and fluffy, but under the surface, there's this whole underground complex where it's all dirty and grimy, and all the secrets are kept, and there's all this stuff going on that people on the surface have got no idea about, and that's literally how the world that we're living in.
Absolutely.
Disneyland.
It is Disneyland. Well, it's been amazing having you. I've got just about enough time to put on a song and go into Reality Bites Rocks. Thank you so much, Dave.
No, thank you for dragging me in. I'm looking. I'm sitting on awakeradio.co.uk, and because I haven't updated the schedule, it says coming up at 9 o'clock, allegedly speaking. So anyway,
we couldn't take that down if we wanted to. It would hurt our feelings. You know, you don't know. Steve and I are sensitive about some things like that. So you know.
Yes, I know. I apologise to you and Steve. I should try and find some time to actually update it for you. But
well, again, you've got all this new stuff coming up. You'll hopefully be joining us again real soon with your own show.
So thanks very much for having me on.
Thank you, David.
I'll catch you guys later.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to Paula Live. Got a song. Stay tuned. Do your bathroom break. Grab some popcorn. Come back. Neil Foster with Reality Bites Rocks is up next.
You're listening to Awake Radio. Straight talk for the awake and aware.